believe that we can support that without going too much into it. But one, I'm disappointed that the article even appeared, and two, I'm extremely embarrassed that, again, executive session material found its way out of executive session and into the paper. And now we have that type of article to worry about as a city. So I would appreciate discretion in the future. I have no idea how it ended up in the hands of the record. I know it wasn't from me. And I would, like I said, I would urge discretion from this point on as far as items like that, because articles like that can happen. They can paint the city in a certain light, even if that light isn't even remotely accurate. So please bear that in mind going forward. Excuse me. And as Robin had mentioned, to everyone out there, please make sure you get out and exercise your right to vote. It's an important part of the democratic process, and it's your civic duty. So please get out and vote regardless of who you're voting for. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Foster.
No, Mayor.
Mr. Van Horn.
No, Mayor.
Thank you. Ms. Trovey.
Last year, during Upper Delaware Scenic Byway meetings, we had a presentation about the monarch butterfly. And this year, the Upper Delaware Scenic Byway put together a brochure called the Monarch Butterfly, Fostering the Flyway by the Byway. It says, in the last 20 years, their population has dwindled from more than 1 billion to just 150 million, and this prompted the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service to list monarchs as a threatened species. This brochure talks about how we in this area can help the monarch butterfly population grow. It's a quite in-depth brochure, so if anyone is interested about the monarch butterfly or see some work that the Upper Delaware Scenic Byway helps do, you can get this in the clerk's office or go on their website and request one. That's it.
Thank you. Mr. Siegel.
Yes, Mr. Bavoso is absolutely right, and now it's old business. That article in the record was a one-sided article, and I know some reporters. I know two of them that are here today. I personally know a couple. I know that when you write an article, it needs to be two-sided to be a good article, to be an honest article, to be a valuable article. Things are left out of there. Important things are left out of there. I sit on the Codes Committee with several others here, and there are members on this council that don't sit on the Codes Committee. And they did the right thing for the right reason. That article does not indicate that. It does not indicate the conversations or the discussions that were had to try to get that church a better location, which in fact they did get at less money with more space. It did not talk about the parking issues downtown, which they will have in their new facility. Did not talk about the cost of renovations to that building that are going to be minimal because now they're going to be in a church. Does not talk about the damage that could be done to the new businesses in town or some of the old businesses in town that may or may not be able to have a liquor license in a business district. How sinful is that? So I'm appalled at how that article even got put in the paper without being a two-sided article, and bothers me. Last meeting I asked for the plaza owners to come and provide us with updates, which they promised and really did not provide. And I was told that they would go to the IDA, which in fact they did. And then I hear today that they did in fact go there, and they're going to provide scheduled updates to the IDA. Once again, I ask that we get updates. We're the council. We're the people that the constituents come to. They probably don't even know who's on the IDA. And we have to answer those questions, and we don't have that information. And yes, they're moving at a dreadfully slow pace. Things should be done now, not wait for spring. Parking lot's one thing, but there's a bad wall. There are a bad retaining wall. It really wasn't properly trimmed of trees. There's fire access needs that need to be taken into consideration. There's apparent cracks in the back of the building. We need to know what they're gonna do. Obviously, they have no tenants, or they wouldn't wait till the spring. And how do we answer questions, Mayor, if we don't have any answers? So I would like, once again, to ask that they provide the council, as well as the IDA, with 2-week updates or whatever.
You're gonna get them, so she'll forward them to us.
Thank you. Did we apply for the Bridge New York program to try to share in the $200 million in bridge rehab money? The deadline has passed. It would be nice because we can't afford the bridge.
We couldn't, we weren't allowed to,
Why is that?
because the project's already set. We had federal money, state money, and all that shit.
But we're going to be in a hole for money because we're going to have to pay the difference of their delay, which I'll be against. I'll be against us paying the difference in the delay. It was not our fault.
They'll just sue us then.
Well, you know,
But that's the way it
at
is,
some
man.
point, we have to take a stand, and we can't be the only community, the only city in Orange County, not to be participating in monies that are out there. We need to get
No,
some
but there's
money.
some money that you can't apply for. And there's certain situations that you can't apply for certain things.
All right, well, let's see, we'll get to that when we get to it, I guess. That's all I have under old business.
Thank you. New business?
Yeah, we were told that the Epoch Times, I don't know how to say it, has gone defunct. I'd just like to take a moment to thank Holly Kellum for all the publicity she gave us. She really did a good job. Actually, we're on the front page once again, which is often the case with that paper. And she did usually do.
How did you hear that?
Huh?
I didn't hear that. How did you hear it?
She called and let us know.
Oh, really?
She's still in the area. She's looking for a job. She's looking for a job, maybe with the Gazette since we don't have one, but Jessica's gone, so. Anyway, she did a great job for us, and I, for one, I'm sorry to see her go. Hope she stays. Today I attended the National Food Day at Bon Secours with Kyle. It was an opportunity where the hospital demonstrated healthy foods and a national need for us to eat healthy. There were many hospital staff members there to discuss that the hospital is not just about healing, it's about health, it's about staying healthy, it's about eating healthy. It was a nice outreach, nice lunch. Thank you very much, Mary. And again, I'd just like to thank Mary and those that were there. They gave us a little treat, starts with a Q, I have to look it up. Very tasty. Some people didn't like it. I liked it because it was very similar to stuff that we eat called kasha, which is buckwheat groats. It was just a different color. I guess if you grow up with certain tastes, you like certain tastes, but to me it was good. I'm going to start making that my own self. There's great recipes. Are they online? Are those?
Well, I just want to point out that you did ask for a special sandwich, so I don't think you really enjoyed the quinoa, but...
Yeah, that was pretty cool. They had all these things there, black bean hamburgers, but I wasn't into that. And I remember the last time I went there, I had a turkey raspberry wrap. And I said, do you have any of them? And what was the lady's name?
Allison Ward.
Allison, yeah. She said, Allison Warren said, no, we don't, but I can make it for you. And she did. So thanks to Allison. I had a good lunch. Thank you.
The recipes are not online. No.
But it's about eating healthy, and I, for one, know because I've lost 60 pounds by eating healthy over the last 2 years. It's a lifestyle change. Is it easy? No. Do I miss ice cream and things like that? Yeah, I do. But you substitute things. So thank you very much. You need to get that kind of word out to more people. It was great. Thank you. And I'm sure Kyle will share the same enthusiasm about it. There are some concerns about the new sidewalks that are being installed on East Main Street where Orange and Rockland is putting in high-pressure gas lines. problems that I have and that people have come to me about is these are brand-new sidewalks, they're replacing old sidewalks, and there's no consistency on the look. Now, if we're gonna replace sidewalks, and I've gone to Jack Farr about this, if we're gonna replace sidewalks, then they should all look the same. You shouldn't have some with grass between the curb and the sidewalk, and some without grass. You shouldn't have some with curbs and then some with no curbs, although I'm told that at some point they're gonna put in curbs. One of the sidewalks in front of the house we own on 77 East Main Street is already cracked, and it's only been there maybe 2 months. The people that laid that part of it, I'm told were fired for poor workmanship, slow workmanship. I think that the whole program needs to be revisited. We're not paying for this. Orange and Rockland is doing this for us, and it's great that they are. So if we're getting this done, then we should get it done nicely.
So part of the issue was the curb issue. That is being replaced. That's part of the project of the Safe Routes to Kids. Because they'll only, what we're getting as much as we can get done by Orange and Rockland, paying for that, so that we can actually go down Hamilton Street, hopefully, and resolve that issue. But they were very mindful of the fact that we wanted a grass median between the curb and the sidewalk. And where they can do it, they are doing it. And I believe they're trying to do it between north and south. Between north and south, which was never there. The problem is that if we go any further, then it becomes an issue where you have to buy people's property, and they're not going to do that. So they would have just gone under the street, and we would have been responsible for the sidewalks.
Why would they have to buy people's property? They either,
It has to be ADA compliant. The width has to be ADA compliant, and it ends at their property line. Where that section between Seward Avenue and Pennsylvania Avenue is, in that section right there, that has always not had a grass piece in between it. Never had a grass piece in it.
that's correct, but that doesn't mean it should never have.
But I'm saying, but then we have to go into a purchasing property because it goes onto their property.
Okay, so tomorrow we have to go measure and see if we have the AD. I don't get it.
Well, they are
because-
ADA compliant.
I don't get it because it just looks sloppy.
And as a matter of fact, there's some sections that the sidewalk was a little bit wider, but they did put grass sections in. And the house next to Pennsylvania Avenue to the east has a grass median now, which it never had before.
The woman at 79 East Main Street has a driveway just like everyone else has a driveway, and that was left there as is, and the curbing on both sides of that was left there as is. There's not even consistency, in the driveways.
But the curbing's going to be all replaced.
Well, I'd like to have her driveway replaced like everyone else's too. It needs to look, Kelly, it needs to look
We're
the
not
same.
disputing that, Stan.
Huh?
We're not disputing that, but we have to get, there's only so much you can do with what you have. And if you want to get into saying, hey, I want to have 3 or 4 foot wide sidewalks and I want to have a grass median, then you're going to get into the expense of buying people's properties like we're doing down in Tri-States.
Well, buying them or I'm sure people would give it to you.
Yeah, okay.
You're talking about a little tiny strip. I'll give you mine.
You would, but there's
I'm
other
sure
stuff.
Tim will give you his. I'm sure that Nan will give you hers. There's a whole block.
But you're speaking for them and you have no idea whether
But I'm
they
sure
would.
they will because I spoke to them as well. But anyway, so I'm putting it on the table so everybody hears what I have to say. I hope that people will come to the budget workshops on the 27th, the 1st, the 3rd, and if we have one on the 16th. The budget that was presented to us is, in my opinion, extremely high. I don't want to go too much into this at this point because I haven't read it, but Social Security got 0.3%, Veterans got 0.3%. There's a lot of issues that we have to talk about, so please come, we need your input. Talking to me on the phone and talking to me on Facebook and talking to others on the phone and Facebook and emails is not enough. We need the people here to explain their predicament. And I try to do it, others try to do it. So again, it's the 27th of October, the 1st, the 3rd, and the 16th of November at 6 p.m.? At 6 p.m. So I once again invite everybody. And don't forget about the Veterans Day Parade. The mayor talked about it. It's November 11th, 9:30. Lineup, I hope. It's usually the wrong time, but I think it's the right time, this 9:30 lineup at the middle school, 10 o'clock. Kickoff, step up, off. Let's support and remember our veterans. And I think just before the 11th will be a service, a memorial or something for William Giovanelio. Amazing thing that after 65 years he came home. Watch for whatever activities will be going on about that. And again, the parade is on the 11th. And please don't forget to vote. This could be one of the most significant national votes in my memory. It is, actually. And we do have 2 council people also. So, and we have others, assemblymen, congressmen. So, again, don't forget to go vote. You can go between 6 a.m. and 9 p.m. Plenty of time to fit it into your schedule. And I think that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Trovey?
Thank you. In regards to the mayor's budget, I have to echo Stan and say that I'm not overly excited with the tax increase. It is certainly better than 30%, but I think that the city can do better and our residents deserve better. If the city expects people to make adjustments to live within their means, I think the city can too. We're being told that it's only $10 or $15 or $20 a month more, and I'm glad that there are people that can afford it, but there are people who cannot, and even if you can afford it doesn't mean that you should have to, especially if there are ways to reduce costs or increase efficiency. So please come to budget workshops, please talk to your representatives. We'll be talking to all the department heads. We are going to work together. I'm sure we can be very civil about how we go about this. And let's work together. Let's get this done. And I'd like to make a motion to set a public hearing on the 2017 budget for November 14th at 7 p.m.
I have a motion by Ms. Trovey. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Siegel. Set a public hearing on the 2017 budget on November 14th at 7 p.m. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So carried.
That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Van Horn?
We have a lot to think about with this, and I think our neighbors should definitely come out and go to these meetings so we can all look at these numbers together. And there are a lot of people who have fixed income. I know I've spoken to many of my constituents, and we have a lot of work to do. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Foster?
I know if we work together, and I know we will work together to try to come up to take a look at this budget and put our heads together, I think it'll be one of the best budgets this council can move forward, all coming together with the constituents and everybody else. That said, I would like to make a motion for the common council to enter into executive session regarding the following matters after public comment. 1, personnel matters relating to the Port Jervis Police Department, and invite the police chief or his designated representative. Also, potential contracts or contractual issues relating to 4640 Front Street. And 3rd, possible contractual matters or issues relating to the Port Jervis Ambulance Corps. And upon the conclusion of executive session, the council will also be meeting with our legal counsel for advice regarding matters involving attorney and client privilege, and I would like to make that a motion.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Foster, second by Mr. Bovozo. Discussion? All in favor? Opposed? So carried.
Thank you, Mayor, that's it.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Bovozo?
No new business. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Hendry?
No, thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Belcher? I think that is a no. Ms. Fitzpatrick?
Yes, a quick reminder that the municipal parking lot by Sacco's Liquor Store, right by the AV outlet, and in front of Brother Bruno's will be closed from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Saturday. Break race finish line will be in the lot along with vendors. Make sure you get out and check out this awesome event. Also, the Mount Carmel Society on November 5th will be having their Celestial Peppers at the Mount Carmel Hall from 4 to 8. Make sure you come on over and grab a sandwich or two.
Will
That's
do.
all I have.
Thank you. Mr. Andezzo?
Thank you, Mayor. I'd also like to remind people that they need to come out to the budget workshops, speak your voice, and come here to be heard. That's what the meetings are being held for. And in regards to election, yes, we do have 2 current council people that are up for election. And I would ask that people come out to the polls. This is definitely not a job that people take lightly. We come here to serve our community. I know I, for one, come here to serve my community. It's not because it's a high-paying job or because you want to work the extra hours. It's something we do because we want to be a part of moving forward for Port Jervis. So I ask you also to vote on Tuesday, November 8th. Again, the polls are open from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. And if you need to get an absentee ballot in, the last day to postmark those is November 1st. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you very much. Okay, we move on to public comment, 3-minute limit on anything that we talked about tonight. Please come forward, just state your name and the ward that you live in or the town you live in.
Something I forgot to mention, in regard to that driveway or the sale of the property up there. Mr. Tan owns 285 feet on Church Street. And she owns 106 feet on Farnham Street. But the 106 feet that she owns on Farnham Street, there's really no room for a driveway. There's no place for anybody to park or a driveway. But she has all that room on the short street just above. So what would be the difference if they had to walk up a hill to get to their house or down a hill to get to their house? If they put their driveway on Short Street.
Where's that? Is there an entrance to the house on Short Street?
There's really not an entrance to the house on either street.
There's doors, yeah.
Well, doors, you have the doors on the upper side.
On Short Street. So you can get into the house from Short Street side.
If they put a driveway.
Well, we'll have to look at that.
That's what I'm just saying.
Mhm.
You could look at that while you're up there.
Yep,
That's all I have to say.
thank you. Anyone else?
Council, Andy Samon, second ward, I got a question for Stan. Is there any plans for the southbound sidewalks on Kingston Avenue to be repaved?
Yeah, that's what I was talking about, the safe routes to school, to kids. It was a grant that we got 3 years ago, but because Orange and Rockland wanted to do the high-pressure lines, what they did is they paid for the ones across the street from you. No, they did that, but our grant pays for both sides to be done. So what we're doing is we're actually saving money so that we can do the intersection at East Main and Kingston and Fowler and also part of Hamilton Street. But yes, the plan is spring, right? The plan is spring.
I've been asking people, I'm getting
Yep.
yes, I'm getting no, I said, you know what, I'm here, let me ask you.
No, it's definitely all in the works. Yep.
Thanks, man.
Anyone else?
There's a discussion earlier about the sale of city-owned properties. I think it's important for all these properties to return to the tax roll as soon as possible. Opening the bidding to these properties to everyone in the city would get the most money. For a city that's trying to reduce expenses, it's better to allow everyone interested in buying to have the opportunity. Putting limits such as owner occupancy on the properties only hurts the possible sale. You look around the room, most of us are owners of properties. I own multiple properties. To put limits on everybody in this room that we couldn't buy those properties, then just spoils the sale. That's all these people in the room that don't have the possibility of buying that property. So opening up to everyone that possibly could, not setting any kind of limits on it, just helps the sale, gets the most money for the properties.
Thank you. Anyone else? Not hearing, and I'll entertain a motion to adjourn to executive session. So moved. Motion by Mr. Foster, second by Mr. Bozo. Discussion? All in favor? Opposed? So carried.